Our national chairman, our general secretary, our minority leader, functional executive committee members, our resource persons, and our dear parliamentary candidates. Let me warmly welcome you to what is the first of two orientations for parliamentary candidates. This is the southern sector one, and there's going to be the one for the northern sector. Earlier, we had held 5 zonal orientations that included party executives and regional and constituency executives. Because, as I said during the primaries, we are going to put our people through orientations and learning so that they understand exactly what the party expects of them. You don't just get people elected and you assume that they know naturally what to do. We all have to work together as one body, and we must speak on the same wavelength. We must understand the same messages so that when we espouse them, our message will be uniform across the whole of the country. You need to unlearn all your attitudes and anything that you already have, and then relearn what you're going to be taught. Because often we assume that we know, and so that is the bane of the teaching and learning process. When you come to a process of teaching and learning where you assume you know already, then it makes it difficult to absorb what is going to be taught you. So unlearn all your past attitudes and everything. Open your minds like a tabula rasa, and let us rewrite, what we want on that slate. You're going to be the focal points of the elections. It doesn't matter whether you won several elections or not, and you believe that you're a veteran, you still have a lot to learn from these orientation courses. And so put your veteran medals aside and be like a fresh recruit, and let us work together to be ready for the elections of 2020. The MPs are going to be the focal points of the elections. You are going to be the arrowhead of the election in your constituency. And every constituency is a unit of campaign. We have 275 of them, and every parliamentary candidate is going to be the arrowhead for the elections in that particular electoral unit. And so we will count on you to do a lot of work. The grounds are generally fertile. We've done several surveys. It shows that our chances are very good to win the election. But they said that when your land is fertile, it will not produce any food unless you invest in it. You must plow the field, you must plant, you must weed the field, you must nurture the crops, and then at the end of it, when it has borne fruit, you must harvest, and it's all labor. And so even though the grounds are fertile, if we don't sow, we won't reap. You are the focal points of the elections because you are on ground 24/7. The national campaign team will come round with the flag bearer and the running mate at different times, but the maximum number of times even the flag bearer's campaign team and the running mate's campaign team can come round is twice or thrice. And so maybe between now and December, the flag bearer, the running mate, and any campaign teams will come through your constituency about 6 times in total. But you are going to be there from day to day. And that's why I say that you are on the ground 24/7, and you're going to continue running the campaign even after the flag bearer has come and gone. In a lot of cases, you find people are just relaxed and all that. Then when the flag bearer is coming, hey, giddy, 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 hey, and then you come and everybody pretends like he's been working. As soon as the flag bearer goes free, everything comes to a standstill again. This election is about continuous working. You must have your work program. As soon as the campaign is launched, you must have your work program. And every week you know what you're going to do. You can have walks, things that will just keep the constituency active until election day. And so a lot of those suggestions will come up in the orientation that you're going to do. We expect that they will teach you what to do, a lot of combination of campaigning skills. And we expect that door-to-door campaigns and, health walks, youth rallies, youth encounters, meeting with the aged and all that are things that you would look at. As the minority leader said, and he was soon to be majority leader, and maybe much more. Our surveys show that we are most likely to get a majority in Parliament. Because we've run several surveys in the constituencies, and we can predict some of the constituencies that we're going to take, some that are marginal and vulnerable, and we're looking to see how we can strategize for those ones to make sure that we either capture them or retain them. And so it shows that our chances of having a majority in Parliament are very good, but it also means that we must work hard to make that survey a reality. The parliamentary election requires a simple majority, and so you can win by one vote. And so more often than not, candidates in strongholds of the party tend to relax a bit because they know that the party has always won the constituency. And if he has to win by only one vote, obviously he will win it. And so you find that in those constituencies, they are a bit more relaxed. In some cases, I don't say in all cases. In many of them, parliamentary candidates work very hard. We need to work hard because we don't want only a majority in Parliament, we want the presidency in addition. And so, if you are even in a stronghold of the party, being the candidate, we want to see by how much you are able to grow our votes in the constituency. The presidential election is important, and I'm saying this in respect of results transmission. Often when we're finished voting and they start the counting, they start counting the parliamentary first. Now in 2016, what we realized was that in many cases, once they had counted the parliamentary and somebody had won or lost, then everybody just deserted the polling station. Those who had lost to go and mourn their loss, and those who had won to go and celebrate their victory, and forgot that they were going to count the presidential results. And so by the time they were counting the presidential results in several polling stations, our people had left. And so it left it open for anybody to do any hanky-panky. The election does not end until all the results, parliamentary and presidential, have been counted and recorded on the pink sheets. And so let us not move an inch until all the counting has been done, the pink sheets have been, filled, and we get our copies of the pink sheets before we leave the polling station. Again, something happened. Because we didn't do this orientation, a lot of our people didn't know, especially many of the new candidates. They didn't even know that there was a collation center where you had to go and sit in order to witness the collation and police the collation. And so in many of the constituency collation centers, our people were not there. And so even if they've recorded something on the pink sheets, they have to take them to the collation centers, and that's where the tally is done. To put it on the constituency tally sheet, that eventually goes to the EC strong room for tabulation. And so you can sign your pink sheets, they can fill the numbers on the pink sheets. If you don't go where the tallying is done, they can add or subtract any number of votes and put it on the constituency tally sheet that goes to the Electoral Commission. And you're not going to be able to challenge it. Once the results have been done, then you have to either go to court or something. And that's a very tedious process to correct, whatever injustice would have been done to you. And so, as a parliamentary candidate, I'll share my experience. We not only tallied our results, tallied the presidential. Immediately we finished, we went home, got something to eat quickly, and then rushed to the constituency collation center. And we sat there as the presiding officers, returning officers kept bringing their returns from the various polling stations. Had our laptop open, we had an Excel program, and as they mentioned the results, we checked it with what we have had. You must get your results before the Electoral Commission gets it at the constituency level. And so we're working on a results transmission system. You go through the orientation, so that you know what you're expected to do. You have to zone your constituencies. You must have people there who will transmit the results immediately the counting is done. And you must have a workstation where you are tallying your results, so that by the time you go and sit in the collation center, you have your results. And when the Electoral Commission comes and is doing the tally, then you're on top of your brief. And so all those things will be taught you. If not in this session, then there will be other sessions to train you on what the results transmission system is going to be. You have to take an interest in the selection of party agents. Party agents are going to be very critical in this election. It's no longer, I came to the party before you. When the Dabe party, no. It's not, selection is not by Mebayache. It is about who understands the electoral process, who can do simple arithmetic, additions and subtraction, write numbers in both figures and in words. It is about that, the best person. You must find out who your trained students are in your constituency, who the lecturers are, who our ex-appointees are. And you must make sure that in the selection of the party agents, you recruit all such people to be a part of it. They must know their branches so that they are assigned to their branches, and they must sit there from morning until everything is done. And so you have a lot of work to do. But most of all, you must protect the ballot, because the will of the people can be subverted through hanky-panky. And if you don't have people who are watching every step of the ballot properly, you could be robbed of victory, even though you deserve to have won. And so thank you very much, and God richly bless you. May God open your minds so that these 2 days you imbibe as much as possible. And I wish you all good luck. I want to see all of you in Parliament, and I'll come round your constituencies, but I'm sure that God will guide you and give you victory in the elections. Thank you.